Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Squared Triangle.
I think we're actually on the fourth because we did Road to WrestleMania, we did the WrestleMania
right.
episode, and then we did the viewer request Royal Rumble.
Yes,
So
this
is the fourth.
We're getting there.
Slowly building it up.
Slowly building it up. We are going to talk about Backlash. Not WrestleMania Backlash, because they took the name off. Thank God.
And what makes this show special is that this is the first premium live event that isn't Saudi Arabian that has been outside the United States in 15 years, I think was the last one.
It was like the last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
outside of North America.
Outside of North America. So this was a Backlash that took place in Puerto Rico. And we're going to get into the matches, but goddamn, this crowd was hot. Like it solidifies that a crowd makes or breaks a show.
Correct.
Even if you believe it's a mediocre show, you know, this crowd was just electric the whole night. And that's what just made it 10 times better.
This crowd made it feel like this was WrestleMania for them. Like this crowd was just 100% into this entire event, and it made it so much better in my opinion.
That's because it is WrestleMania to them.
It is. I mean, and the thing is, like, they're saying that they don't plan another event in Puerto Rico for a while, and it's like this is also like the most watched one, the biggest gate. I think it's like the biggest Backlash attendance. Like, this is just breaking records for Backlash, and WWE's like, we're not going to do another Puerto Rico event for a while.
I really think they should do another event in Puerto Rico, though. They should actually do at least a couple more.
You should rotate years. Like this year was Backlash. Next year, whatever the next pay-per-view is, I think it's Money in the Bank. Like next year should be Money in the Bank in Puerto Rico, and just do like the stepping stone each year. Like this event's now going to be in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But this crowd was hot. We did get when we get onto these matches, we did have a little bit of a Cena showing up at ECW moment for this first match. But before we get into the matches, what did you guys? I think everybody agree we love this show.
It was
solid
expectations.
We went in with kind of no expectation. This is usually like the B pay-per-view that kind of pushes storylines along. But I mean, this felt like this was a great night of wrestling.
Like I was completely wrong about this show from start to finish. Like I didn't realize it was going to be that hot, that good, and it almost felt like a takeover in some spots.
I do feel like there was a miss with this with the show structure. I don't think the Cody Brock match should have gone on last.
I think Bad Bunny and Damian Priest should have gone on last. And I completely agree with you on that.
We'll get into that match because that match stole the fucking show for me. And it's
it did too.
Damian Priest can just lead a match like nobody's business. So let's get into these matches and we can then start singing our praises for Damian Priest.
Yes. I got a lot to sing for him as well.
All right. So we'll start off with Bianca Belair versus Io Sky, which is honestly my match of the night.
This match took place in Bizarro Land. This was John Cena showing up at ECW, getting booed out of the building. This building was behind Io this entire match and hated Bianca, which was crazy to hear.
So this is like any match in Canada.
Yeah.
I really liked this match. I thought both competitors were super athletic. They showed that off really early. They hit their spots very cleanly. Io Sky worked Bianca Belair's arm throughout the majority of the match. And then Bianca's just a freak of nature with her strength. Like one-handed picking up Io Sky.
I made a note about that because then she promptly drops Io right on her fucking face at the end of that spot. And for a second, I thought Io might have busted her nose a bit. Like, she drops right onto her face. But I mean, then I was like, oh, wait, no, she's been in Stardom. This isn't the worst thing she's been through. This is nothing for her.
Like, she's probably been kicked a lot harder than that in Stardom.
Yeah. She's been in Joshi wrestling leagues before. She's fine.
But this match cooked.
Yeah,
match.
Yeah, just a quick note about Bianca though. Like her skill level in the ring is incredible. It really is. She can just go in the ring and just have a match like this with damn near anybody. Don't matter don't matter their opponent's skill level or not. In some cases, Bianca just goes out there and just makes them better. Yeah, in a way, as the match is going.
I think that Io and Bianca is a feud I'd want to see more of. I think they work really, really well together.
They really do.
I really like the storyline of damage control like crumbling a little bit here as Bailey is it's the will they won't they of Bailey like did she do that on purpose or not?
Somebody pointed out that as Bailey is coming to the ring, Dakota is like pleading for her to not like interfere in the match. Like you can see it in like Dakota's like she's like no, like she doesn't want Bailey to go out there. And at this point, I wrote down my notes like, what's the point of damage control at this point? It's
well, and that's the thing, right? Like this could be like the start. Again, we have to get ourselves out of the 1 month pay-per-view blow off indoctrination that we've had for so long.
I'm just
WWE.
I read though because I was like they've lost
years.
Every feud basically since losing the titles, the tag titles. I think they become like the Miz, where it's like the new person will show up, they'll go through the Miz, and then they'll start the feuds proper. This is like the women's division. You go through damage control, and then you start your proper feuds now at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, I just think it's time for it's just time for Io to be a face, like she was in NXT. Yeah. You know, she's getting to the point where she's getting way too likable. You know, to just keep continuing this heel role with damage control.
Depending on how we're recording this on Monday,
depending
on how
tonight goes.
Monday Night Raw treats her, because I don't think they're in Puerto Rico today.
No, they're back in the States, I believe.
They're back in the US, right? So depending on how tonight goes, if they feature Damage Control and or Io Sky, that will be really telling about how she's on. Oh shit, she's on SmackDown. Never mind. Forget I said anything. So depending on how she will be on Friday when this actually comes out. I tied it back in.
Yeah.
Depending on how she ends up when this comes out on Friday, then we'll see if she has properly gotten over with the crowd.
Yeah. Just back to the match. There was a really cool spot in this match with the avalanche powerbomb.
Yes.
Which is something that you don't see in a women's match often, and I think Bianca and Io are probably the two people that could pull off that spot. Just Bianca's tall as shit too.
And then there was like another spot in that match I thought was really cool where like Bianca had Io up in like the Glam Slam / Jaded / Road to Valhalla, and Io like rolls out of it and just comes up and double stomps her on the chest. I thought that was a really cool spot as well.
I really liked that she did that twice, and the second one Bianca rolled out of the way. That's good storytelling.
This was very NXT Io, and it was nice to see her get like a solo match like this. And I mean, starting this match off with this hot crowd. I mean, the crowd just got hotter after this match. Like, people audibly hated it that Bianca won, which was surprising to hear. But like, it just shows you that this crowd's going to be on fire the whole night.
Yeah,
and on top of that,
was nuts.
That thing's going to carry over to Monday Night Raw, I believe, because I think we're at that point where everybody's about to start turning on Bianca shortly.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitably going to happen. People are going to want to see new champions. I mean, people can keep saying the bloodline is the best, but I mean, people are growing tired of not seeing Roman. They're growing tired of him winning pay-per-view matches. Like, it's starting to just wear on people. It's like, we want something new now. And I mean, she is the longest running women's champion now. They're not saying Raw women's champion anymore. They're saying longest women's champion of the modern era.
She is also, well, I mean, you're not going to beat several thousands of days without running into another Roman thing.
But here's the thing. We also had a question about this match is like, does Io win because Bianca's now on SmackDown? And it's like, no, they're just, they fumbled their plan and they just didn't keep the women on their respective shows. So now you're going to do a weird,
actually. So
yeah, now you're going to do this weird, are you going to just make one women's title and just make the whole women's division a thing now?
They're just going to do another belt swap.
They'll do a belt swap.
Yeah, and I'm like, just plan out your guys' storytelling better, please.
The last belt swap between women's champions was funny, by the way, because it was Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, and there was some shit.
Yeah, it's just
between the two.
That was so dumb.
That was fucking hilarious, though. So
moving from this match, we had a little promo segment with Bad Bunny prepping his match for Damian Priest, and because we're in Puerto Rico, but Bad Bunny is a fucking star. Like, this is, somebody pointed out, like, this is 1998 Stone Cold levels of like fan appreciation for Bad Bunny.
Oh man,
this is Puerto Rican Elvis Presley.
Yeah,
he's a legend in Puerto Rico, man. But he ain't the only one. We'll get into that later though. But Bad Bunny is just an international superstar.
The Bad Bunny match popped me hard. It really did. And it
I
started
loved
with
it.
this because in this promo, he is given a Puerto Rican flagged kendo stick by Savio Vega.
Remember
Who?
Savio Vega? The last time he
Mhm.
was on WWE television was 1999.
Yeah,
Los Boricuas.
Yeah, Los Boricuas.
it was wonderful seeing. I thought it was Conan at first, admittedly, until the name tag came
Oh
up.
wow.
Uh,
That's a little racist, Sharky.
sorry.
Damn, Dallas.
It was the bullhead. It was the sunglasses. My mind was instantly. I see Conan more. That's the thing. Like I see Conan
fair.
more on stuff. So I just think I was like, oh, so wait, no, it's Savio Vega. Okay, that makes sense. Like he's here.
I made a note that Michael Cole at the end of the segment said, "You can't have WWE in Puerto Rico without Savio Vega." Says Michael Cole, who hasn't commentated on Savio Vega since 1999 when he was doing backstage segments.
Yeah. We get to our next match, which is kind of a nothing match, but it is still a match that was pretty hypey to watch.
It was.
This was the Seth Rollins and Omos match. And I'm going to start off. I thought Seth Rollins was coming out in pants. My friend pointed it out to me. He's wearing pants that had the same coloration as the Ageho like jackets. With like the anime faces on them. His pants had the same coloring.
Don't fucking put that in my head, Sharky. Don't
They
put that
had
in my
the
head.
same coloring, and I
Don't do
literally
it.
thought that was it. But then it looked like they had like some weird like floral like pottery design on. I don't know what that design's
I'm gonna
called.
kick your ass right now.
The crowd was hype as shit. They were singing Rollins' intro as he stood in the ring, and then almost did a great heel tactic, just kicking the shit out of
Kick the
Rollins.
fuck
Just-
out of me.
Hits him while he's still in the spotlight.
and I'm
which
like,
is
Yeah, it was-
funny.
I was just like,
That was great.
perfect heel work.
That was great.
Great.
Almost
showed
controlled
up.
the majority of this match.
He showed up in this match too. Like this was the best Omos has looked in a long time. I don't know if that's Rollins helping him out, but I mean, Omos is really coming into his own as a wrestler.
I think so too. I think
Yeah,
this
he's
is a
improving
good-
a lot as of late. You know, and I think he's having a lot of guidance from people around him, and he's being put into these matches with guys like Seth Rollins and stuff, and he's just getting better.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a
I
main
popped-
event tracker soon.
I popped for him doing Snake Eyes. I was like,
Yeah.
vintage Undertaker.
Mhm.
Yeah. This was a match that was Rollins ended up winning it, but this match did its job of Omos is still looking like a fucking monster.
Seth Rollins had to do like
A
3
super stomp.
stomps and one from the top rope.
He did a super stomp, and the thing is, I want to just give credit where credit is due. Omos's timing on that too. Like he let Rollins land on him and then pretty much guided Rollins down.
Yeah.
Like the timing on that stomp was great from both guys.
You know, I really think Seth Rollins is making his case for him being the world heavyweight champion. He can put on these matches with people like Omos, and I think you need a guy like that to wear that belt and throw these kind of matches out in good storylines and you
Yeah.
know, good feuds like that. Seth Rollins is the guy that needs to be the champ first. You know, He made that
reports
case at the
are it's
pay-per-view.
between him and Finn, right?
Well, the thing is, this tournament has 10 guys, 10 or it's like 10 or 12 guys from half and half from each brand, and it has
Yep.
Cody Rhodes. And I'm willing to bet that tonight's Raw has a stretcher job for Cody to get him out of this with Brock, because he
Brock
didn't.
beating his ass.
We'll get to
Maybe.
the Brock match. He did not beat Brock entirely clean.
You're right.
So
We'll get to
I
that later.
think they're not going to put him in the tournament to win the
I
collateral
don't think
title.
I don't think he's winning that. I think he wants to win the WWE Undisputed.
And I think it hurts the story to have him lose. So I think booking him in the tournament and then removing him from the tournament by him getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar sets up a pay-per-view match to end the feud and then gets him back on track to Roman.
While we're on the subject, before we just cut to the next match, I think it's stupid that the reason you did this is because you gave both belts to the champion, and then you have the U.S. champion in the match, in the tournament.
And that's the thing. It's like you have the U.S. champion. So it's just bad booking because you're not going to let him win it unless they
Of course
introduce
not.
TNA's option C, where Austin Theory can be like, I'm going to trade in my U.S. title. I want a title shot. Like, that's the thing that TNA has done and Impact has done for years. You can turn in your belt for a world title shot. And I'm like, I don't see WWE adopting that, but it's like, you're going to have your U.S. champion lose? Like,
Might be cool.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me either.
I'm like, take Theory out, put Bronson Reed in. Like, it's just
you could put like any one of those people who got called up to NXT in that slot.
Yeah,
and it would
put
be
some
just
NXT
fine.
guys in. They can get some TV time. They can lose, but they can still show what they can do. And you have your big guys. And honestly, Sheamus is in the tournament. I kind of want Sheamus to win. Like, I kind of want Sheamus to be that inaugural new champion before he ends up
works
going.
too. He's a great workhorse.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm just
He's
saying,
amazing.
I'm just saying, wouldn't be against the Sheamus Rollins finals. Like,
because like the reports are saying it's supposed to be like Finn and Seth. I thought.
yeah, because they're probably going through the old Universal title champions. It's going to be either it's probably going to be Finn Rollins in the finals, and then more than likely Rollins is going to get the title. Because I mean, he's kind of hasn't had a real chance to be in like a title scene in God knows how long.
I'm down with that.
So
Long live Rollins.
Yeah, and I hate that we're doing this on Monday, because if we did it on Tuesday, we could talk about Raw and see if they fucked up all their booking or not. But
I guess we just got to wait and find
just
out.
gotta wait.
Find out.
We always do these like half and half, pretty much.
Yeah. Next up is
after the promo, we get the U.S. title triple threat, or after the Omos match, we got the U.S. title triple threat match.
This was close to being my match of the night.
This was a fun match.
I thought the finish was really good. I thought they did it in such a way that they made everyone look strong.
Yeah. Something that threw me off is that this was a very short pay-per-view also.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first 3 matches were only like one
Finish minutes.
Well, the almost match and this match I think added up to 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So this was like a 7-minute US title match. And I mean, it kind of did what it needed to do. He got hit with it was just big guys beating up big guys, and then Theory being his sneaky little champion self. And the finish came in with a fucking moonsault into a spear into a pin.
Yep.
Which was a wild series of finishes. Theory being able to lift up Bronson Reed is impressive as shit. Like, Theory I
thought that was super impressive.
He's that guy. He is muscular, yes, but he's also kind of thin. So it's like deceptively strong. It's like it's all just compact in theory. But I mean, that guy can, like, lifting Reed like that was insane.
That was great.
He's just one of those guys that can he looks like, he can lift, he doesn't look like he can't lift that much, but he can lift way more than what he's supposed to be. Austin Theory is legit sneaky strong like that. And he pretty much showed that on display.
There was a funny moment here where Theory tried to do his like roll into the ring, like jump up drop kick, but the ref was in his way. So he had to like stop and like roll to the left and then jumped up and did the drop kick because the ref wasn't watching him. He was watching Lashley and Reed in the match. And I was like, God damn it, ref. I really want this. I really think Bronson Reed fits into the US title picture as long as Theory has it. Like, I think this Lashley Reed Theory feud is very entertaining. I like these 3 guys, how they work together.
I was sufficiently sports entertained.
We did call it. I did predict that Reed felt like he was just in the title picture to take the pin, and he was.
As a reminder, Bronson Reed has a pinfall victory on Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pin clean, Okada clean. And then came back in. He's been on TV once,
none of it matters,
and pay-per-views twice since he's come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with Bronson Reed, my guys? He's not on TV.
I think they're just still trying to figure that out themselves.
He's just being thrown into pay-per-view matches.
No idea.
Yeah, he's being thrown into pay-per-view matches. He's rocking every pay-per-view match he's in. But like, come on, man, put him on TV more. He's awesome. That's why I'm like, take Theory out, put Reed into this tournament. Let him throw a bunch of different wrestlers around.
Let him splash somebody too, at least
he
once.
He did like a Bam Bam Bigelow like moonsaults, which was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think he like Vader bombed Lashley to the outside while he was still standing, and that was crazy
over the ropes. And I'm like, this guy can fucking move.
Yeah, he can.
I like Reed. Reed,
I'm high on Reed.
I wish I could see him more on TV. That's the thing. The thing is, like, everybody came out to a response in this pay-per-view except for Bronson Reed, because nobody really knows who he is yet. He's not being shown enough. Like, the crowd had like cricket reactions to Bronson Reed coming out.
They did pop for him doing spots.
They did pop for him in the ring, but like when he was announced, like everybody cheered for everybody else except for Reed, and I was like, that's depressing. Like, yeah, great match. I'm really liking the US title picture. I'm wondering why we didn't get an Intercontinental title in this. I feel like Gunther's kind of been on vacation since WrestleMania.
I mean, no, he had just gotten married recently, and I think he was taking time off. That's why.
Yeah, he's taking time off. He did just get married.
Yeah, he just got married. So, yeah.
In addition to that, where would you put it in this pay-per-view?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because they do, the second half of the pay-per-view does get like wrongly scheduled. So we go into our second women's match of the night, which is Rhea Ripley coming out as champion first because they know the crowd is going to pop for Zelina Vega, and they do fucking pop for Zelina Vega.
She comes out.
I love Zelina Vega's entrance gear and all that too.
Yeah,
she comes out with like a cape almost.
The cape with the sticks that she can hold up and make the
with the Puerto Rican flag.
She's fully decked out in Puerto Rican colors. The crowd's behind her. She has her family at ringside, so you know she's losing this match.
Of course,
because it's WWE and we're in your home country and you cannot win.
And besides, we pretty much came to that conclusion already that she wasn't winning this match anyway. But this was a really good moment for her, regardless. The crowd popping for her like that.
I don't know if it was her decision or if it's just WWE saying shit that the match was dedicated to her dad who died in 9/11, and then you have her lose.
You had to have the America moment.
I'm like, you could have just said, "This is for her dad who's no longer with us," but you had to add that shit, and then you have her lose clean.
Yeah.
WWE has a habit of making people lose in their hometown. They do this a lot, so it's not surprising, really. It's just
the home country, the dead dad, the colors, the family at ringside. 7 minutes.
Can we talk about the chocolate spot?
I popped.
Yes,
I popped when she grabbed the fucking
And she held it up like like Lincoln Zelda. It's like fucking
when Zelina Vega holds it like that, that's a pinche chancla.
Everybody in that crowd went fucking crazy. It was so funny.
And then she just fucking
It was a fun match, but like I said, I mean, this hasn't had a real build to this yet, so you know she's gonna lose. But I'm like, why do you just keep throwing in all this like hometown hero babyface shit and then just lose?
Like, because it's WWE, man.
Oh god, if it was anything, just like, okay, man, just let something happen that clouds up the victory a little bit, and then Rhea can get her rematch. But let Zelina walk out of that arena with the fucking title. Like, the pop, the response, just god, they miss so many like perfect moments to do things just because it doesn't fall in plan.
Well, it's because if they call this on the fly and have her win the title, the next time, like, her next match on, what is she on, Raw? No, she's not. LWO's on SmackDown.
SmackDown, I think.
Yeah. So she would be on SmackDown. Bianca's still on SmackDown with the Raw's Championship.
Yeah.
B, like, you come back to America and you just get a lukewarm reception.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the crowd, it's so weird.
They'll probably have Rhea like take the title from her the next SmackDown and whatnot. So it'll only be like 3 or 4 days.
It was like the booking decision in AEW with Thunder Rosa, where that Sunday she loses to Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like the show that week was in Thunder Rosa's hometown, and then she wins the title on a TV episode because it's just her hometown. And I was like, you could have just had her lose by like cheating on Sunday. Then she didn't have to get pinned clean if you're going to do a rematch. Like, it was just one of those things that's like, god damn it, dude, can people just not like look at the schedule and be like, all right, here's the feud, here's their hometown, oh, it lines up. Like, let's. But yeah. I think I did read a report that WWE is trying to make title reigns mean something now. So people are going to be holding titles for longer. They're going to start getting more prestige. It's not just going to be back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
So I'm happy they're doing that finally. I still feel like they have too many titles. Like
Also,
you need one women's title. Just don't have a big enough women's division.
But you know what? That also means you're gonna have to wait 495 days for Roman Reigns to lose those titles.
I swear to God, if Roman Reigns is still champion by September of next year, I'm going
He
to.
will be.
He will be.
Oh my God!
He will be.
What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna keep watching because we have this podcast now.
We have this show, so I'm obligated.
And we gotta go through it.
You're not gonna do shit about it. Raise your one right now.
I do have a shirt I do have a Roman Reigns shirt that says head of the table, so I can't say shit. I want to point out too, Rhea showed a really cool move that I haven't seen her do. She might have done it in previous matches. She has them in like a torture rack Boston Crab like combo that she's like holding him up. She has like Zelina's like neck here, and then she's like holding her leg. It was
it was like a gory special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool.
I think that's what it was. Because the like she's been showing like props to like Lucha Libre, so
yeah.
having Zelina in a gory special probably would make sense. Wasn't like the best executed gory special, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I want to point out that
really cool.
I want to point out that Rhea Ripley can sell DDTs like nobody's business.
Correct.
Like Rhea gets DDT'd and she just goes like flopping across the ring. And
she goes really wide-eyed too. She's like,
yeah. She sells it like I just got my head driven into this fucking mat. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Then we get to the match that should have main evented this fucking event. Only because the Cody Brock match lasted like 10 minutes. And it was a kind of a disappointing finish. This was 25 minutes of pure masterclass celebrity wrestling because of Damian Priest. I mean, if he was calling this on the fly, Damian Priest should be the next world champion. Like, he should win that tournament. Like, this guy fucking deserves it.
I'll throw a ticket in the hat for him as well after this.
Bad Bunny put on a great fucking showing. I feel like he almost killed himself twice trying to do sliced bread twice. Like,
that second time he almost went straight on the top of his head.
He almost went down straight on his fucking head that second time.
He almost went down on his crown.
And if that had happened, I was like, yep, he ain't gonna be on tour for a while.
If you wanted a response that was something like an Attitude Era, like Return or something, Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico is a goddamn hero.
There are so many Benito chants in the crowd, and then the one part where Damian Priest just crotch chops them as they're chanting, like, yeah.
So beginning of this match, you have Bad Bunny coming out. You can tell by the shirt he's wearing, he doesn't have like the padding that most celebrities wear, like underneath his clothes. Like, Bad Bunny's coming out here to wrestle, paying some homage to New Jack with the card of hardcore match.
Oh, and on top of that, the crowd, they were just into this whole entrance. Like, they was actually singing his theme song. You hadn't heard it. They were singing his song as he was coming out. They were singing wild.
Everybody's theme song. They were singing everybody's song tonight. I mean, this was the best Rollins like intro. The Cody Whoa just was the loudest one I think I've heard so far. Like, this crowd was on fire.
It was a party atmosphere at that show.
Yeah.
So I initially popped for Bad Bunny doing a Michinoku driver. It's like, yo!
Yeah. The fact that he could do that on a guy Priest's size, and it looked relatively safe how he did it too. Like, he didn't look like he was hesitant about it at all. Like, Bad Bunny came out here to wrestle, and he did what he did spectacularly.
There's a couple of stories into this match. First one is early on, Damian Priest just did not want to use weapons. He would snap kendo sticks over his knee, threw them out, tossing them out of the ring.
Yeah.
The other story going into this is really like maybe 5 minutes in. Priest hits South of Heaven, pins
for
Bad
a 2
Bunny
count and then stops
picks him up.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not done whooping your ass yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's like, I'm gonna beat up this man in front of you.
Yeah.
We got our really cool like hardcore match spots, like the symbol trash can lids. We got Bad Bunny about to hit Priest with the trash can, and then Priest just boots through the trash can to hit Bad Bunny, which
that was really cool.
Bad Bunny had great facial expressions laying on the ground too. After that, like the guy looked like he got hit by a truck. It was so funny.
And then there was like that one spot where they were on the outside, like towards the equipment area and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and I think he got Bad Bunny into like a falcon arrow through the table.
He falcon arrowed him through the table.
It's a broken arrow.
A broken arrow.
A broken arrow.
Then
But
you had
still.
all the officials come out. You had Adam Pearce come out. And you have Damian Priest saying it's not over because I'm not finished. And then he pulls him.
He's not
done.
going.
And then he pulls him
that
back.
was the most fucking baller-ass shit ever.
And I mean, it was just it then worked. It then went into Bad Bunny doing like actual like in-ring storytelling work, like fucking over his knee, like for a period of time, like submission holds on the ring posts. Like he was working his leg like a true wrestler would in like an old-fashioned wrestling match.
And Damian Priest was selling it real well because it was like at one sport. It was like at one point where I think he grabbed the chain and wrapped it around his leg.
Yeah.
And Damian Priest was like, "Hey, whoa, man, come on."
It started with the when he had his leg on Bunny's shoulder and he like pulled it down.
Yeah.
And like Priest sold that so well, I thought he actually like hurt his knee.
Yeah. Well, he was also calling the ref to like, "Hey, ref."
Yeah. So it's like if that was just like scared heel work, that's fantastic. Like it's
really
just
good.
Damian Priest is just shining in this match. And then we start to get the moments because the Judgment Day comes out.
Here come the Judgment Day.
And
Finn and Dom.
They have the advantage.
Or is it Finn and Sub?
It was
And then
Finn and Dom.
Finn and Sub.
And then I'm trying to remember the order of it. Carlito's music hits.
You hear the Guido, that cat, and you're like, what?
The man comes out.
Carlito looks great.
He looks great. He had the apple. I mean, this guy owned the like mid 2000s like IC title scene. And I mean, the fact that he's coming out here looking this good, I think he's been wrestling in his own promotion in Puerto Rico.
He's been wrestling in WWC a lot, which is the big promotion in Puerto Rico. Carlito's a Puerto Rican legend also, and I would be shocked if they left him off of this show somehow.
I was gonna say he's literally the Hulk Hogan of
he is the Hulk Hogan of Puerto Rico. Like
basically him or the John Cena of Puerto Rico, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah.
Then
that's what he is.
Savio Vega. I'm about to even the odds.
And Rey Mysterio first.
Rey Mysterio and the Latino World Order. They jump Dominic and Finn walks away. I think that's what got me the most is that Dominic is getting jumped by the Latino World Order and Finn's just like leaves him.
Man, yo, man.
And as he's walking away, Savio Vega shows up to lay out Finn Balor.
Interestingly, Savio Vega was using the moves he uses like Quang in the early 90s.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It was a great like callback to just that era of like superstar, but it was just really funny how like Finn like didn't try to help Dominic and just walked away. It made me laugh.
You on your own.
It really made me laugh. I did put in my notes here. Bunny almost botches badly because he almost sliced bread himself right onto his neck. So
yep.
Then he hits the Canadian Destroyer, which he is surprisingly good at doing.
The Puerto Rican Destroyer.
I think is actually called the Bunny Destroyer, is what they called it.
Yeah.
But that's what Corey called it on the
Yeah. And that's the finish. He hits it on Priest and then gets the pin.
One of the things I wanted to point out is this pay-per-view and wrestling in general is full of the storytelling device known as Chekhov's gun.
Yes.
When Finn Balor and Dom came out at first, Finn put the chair in the corner.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. I was like, "We're gonna put a pin in that one for a sec."
Yeah,
and then it comes back around.
It does. I want to point out that like it's probably just the names, but trying to think about it, I don't know the names of the guys in Latino World Order. Like,
it's just Legado de Fantasma.
It's Santos Escobar.
I know that's the thing. I know Escobar. I cannot think of the names of the other two guys.
It's Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde.
I feel like they need to be given more individual time.
He'd be given a few tag team matches.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Gosh.
but
they're really good.
This match should have main evented. It really should have.
I think it should have main evented.
They called it a double main event, and I'm like, no, this should have been the main event.
No, this should have been the main event, because this was a really hot crowd.
Admittedly, everything after this match for me just didn't compare to this match. Like
the problem with double main eventing is because you have to have your blow off match between your big ticket matches.
Yeah,
and we have that coming up next. Which is ironically the main event, most of the main event at WrestleMania last month. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So then after this just spectacular fucking match, we get a tag team match, which while still good, it still did not get me as hyped as this Bad Bunny match. Surprisingly,
it wasn't even close.
The story of this match between KO, Sammy, and Matt Riddle versus the Bloodline is that there is tension in the Bloodline, mostly from Solo Sikoa.
Sikoa about to
if you were going to build a star out of Solo, if this is the route they're going for it, it's going to be spectacular.
Solo has the best resting bitch face.
I mean, this guy during this match tagging himself in, almost laying out Jay with a Samoan spike, which was tense as shit.
So I have in my notes that there's one time where he tagged himself in. There was another where he just fucking slapped the shit out of, I think it was Jey Uso.
Yeah.
To tag himself in.
So yeah, I mean, this is your typical Bloodline match. Sami Zayn is getting his shit kicked for 8 minutes before the hot tags start going on.
They also explained as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are making the entrance that they can go on either brand as long as they have the titles. They finally explained that. They haven't explained that up until this point.
Again, this crowd hyped singing Sammy's music song, just so much energy in this fucking arena. It's wild.
I thoroughly enjoyed Jay pulling the big bro card on Solo, though.
Yeah,
I really did.
I'm big brother.
Funny.
I got this.
Yeah, you stay out here.
There also was a moment of Jimmy kicking Jay with a super kick.
Yeah, that was after a miscommunication.
Yeah.
There was a "We Want Roman" chant, and Jimmy Uso was like, "He ain't here."
Yeah, it's the little things.
Yeah, it's great.
They were lingering, so we get the finish. Solo pins Riddle.
Yep.
For the finish, which we could expect. The person who's not the champion takes the pin. You want to make Solo look strong, especially if he's going to begin feuding with the Usos or somebody.
So there was a good spot here of they had what was it, Riddle and Jey Uso down, or Sami Zayn and Jey Uso down, and Solo's down for some reason, and he's the first one up. And he's looking between Sami and Jay. He walks towards Jay like he's gonna do something. But before we have a definitive answer, here comes Matt Riddle with the final flash kick.
Yeah, Matt Riddle. Based on my notes, Matt Riddle does really good looking jumping knee strikes on people.
It's his signature move.
Yeah, I mean they look so clean too.
I mean, with Riddle having the MMA background, he better be able to do those knee strikes like that to make him look good.
Yeah.
I called them in my notes V-Trigger-esque. It didn't take me. It took me until just now to remember his signature move called the final flash kick.
This match did have a lot of back and forth. Riddle getting the hot tag was unexpected, but the crowd was really behind him, starting to clear out the ring. And I mean, this was just your standard, basically Usos versus Sami and KO match. It just had the addition of the 2/3 people were the ones in the finish. So you can have whatever storyline you want to continue, because Riddle taking the pin isn't going to affect Sami and KO's story.
I do like the finish that what happened is Riddle hits the Broderick on one of the Usos, and then Solo just picks him up and spikes him.
Because they did the back tag that Riddle didn't see. So the camera lingered on the Bloodline for a little longer than it should have, and I really thought we were going to see Jimmy and Jay super kick Solo. or something like
well-
I thought we were going to see a turn because that camera was lingering for a little while.
So I think we were going to see a turn, but then one of the Usos gets something from the ref.
Yeah.
You see him like talk to the ref. So I think they might have put the kibosh on it for now, which hey, that's fine with me. I like this.
And
I like this.
That was obvious too, because it's like it's all tense in the ring, and then the ref comes up and you see like Jay like lean over to him, and Jimmy's the one talking to Solo. And I'm thinking like, are we gonna see the turn? Is he getting the orders to turn? Like, is that
No, I think what they like to do is they like to put Easter eggs like that in there for now, just to kind of plant seeds for when the actual turn happens. You know, eventually it's going to come out of nowhere and as a surprise, but, you know, they're just kind of leading you into that point. And that's why they do those things like that. And I think it's a really good way to kind of project that before it happens.
I liked it. I thought this was a really good match. I thought,
Solo
it was
looks
super back and forth.
Solo looks
like a star.
scary as an enforcer. Like this man
Solo,
looks like
yeah.
a true enforcer in wrestling.
We haven't had like a true.
I get Meng
enforcer
vibes from
in a
Solo.
while. Yeah, exactly. We haven't had a true enforcer in a long time in wrestling. We've had people who have been called themselves an enforcer in a stable.
Yeah.
But if you look even at like the Jericho Appreciation Society, for example, who they have, Swagger, or
Yeah,
Hager?
it's Swagger,
That's-
and I mean
it's
he
not
Swagger.
looks ridiculous in his purple hat. So
Yeah. Well, it's because the other thing about it is like you look at Solo Sikoa and you look at Jake Hagar. I know Jake Hagar has MMA experience. My money's still on Solo.
yeah, somebody pointed it out to Blackpool Combat Club, like breaking down the roles. It's like you have the like genius technician and Danielson. You have the brawler and Moxley. You just have the tall, scary European and Cesaro. And then you have just like the chicken shit, like fiery hothead in Yuta, who's like, when he's starting to lose, he'll just run behind his big brothers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Bloodline have that dynamic. You have the champion, you have the enforcer, you have the tag team.
I do like it. It's really good. It's by the numbers 4 horsemen.
Yeah, it's your classic 4-man stable, and Solo is just eating that roll up. Like
He is.
Yeah, and
I
then
thought
drowning him in a lot of mystery as well.
despite the fact that he was in the ring for all of like a minute, I thought this was star making for Solo.
Yeah, Solo is when he steps into the ring, it's rare when he does, but when he does, he owns every minute he's in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's just he's another star. Like it's just whenever he gets his own thing going, like Solo is going to be a main event guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to our final match, which I believe also might have been called on the fly because of what happened during this match.
Oh, we'll get to that in just a sec.
Boy. It's the Brock Cody match. The crowd just again amplifying that intro song.
The crowd loved Brock Lesnar until he stepped in the ring, and then even the Puerto Rican crowd was like, "Oh, we gotta deal with Brock Lesnar." Fuck.
The match doesn't start, and Cody begins beating the shit out of Brock with the steps.
Yep. I like that. I think not enough faces do that against unstoppable monsters.
He's like, okay, before the mission starts, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you and weaken you a little bit.
But that's what faces need to do more often. They need to prove they have like that tough quality to them.
Yeah.
That they can just go out and be the aggressor for once. ECW was great at doing that with their faces. And I wish more wrestling promotions did that.
Yeah. It then just becomes Brock eating Cody around for about 5 minutes.
Until it isn't.
Cody gets Germaned so many times in this match.
I in my notes I counted at first and then I stopped counting because it kept happening.
He just kept throwing Cody around the ring. He even had, I think, like a follow, like where he falls back and throws. He did one of those too, and Cody just goes flying across the ring because Cody's just like a small guy compared to Brock.
And then the announce team kind of made a reference to 2014 Brock when he was tossing Cody around the ring like a sack of potatoes.
So I was Cena.
It was funny.
They compared it to when Brock like just demolished John Cena in that match.
And that one match is SummerSlam.
they had there was a couple spots there's a spot that happened a couple of times where Cody would jump to the ropes, do like a disaster kick or like a Cody cutter, and then on the third one, Brock both times catches him and like suplexes him.
Yeah, it's very good. The thing is, like, I'm learning that if Brock wants to work with you, he will work with you.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't want to work with Bray, so he didn't work with Bray.
yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna go out there, and if this bleeding is planned, I'm going to bleed for Cody. I think he might have did it a little too much. So we get the turnbuckle exposed. Cody's like, I'm gonna try to put this monster away. I'm gonna expose the turnbuckle.
Brock That's not exactly how that happened.
No,
he was
that turnbuckle,
and he
gets suplexed.
It got thrown into the audience, by the way. And then you look in the background, and the crowd is watching. I'm pretty sure as security comes and collects the turnbuckle padding, because I think they started chanting, "Let him." I think they started chanting, "Let him keep it."
Let him keep it.
Yeah. They should have.
Brock goes face first into this exposed turnbuckle, and when I say Crimson Mask, I mean Crimson Mask. Like, it is
gushing immediately.
It is painting Cody when he's holding him in like the crossroads. Like, his chest is just like covered.
It reminds me of the last time there was a major bleed in WWE that they didn't do anything about, which is a notable thing here. I'm sure Brock was like, "No, don't fucking touch me. I want this match to keep going."
They had that. The ref tried to give him a towel when they were both like laying on the ground. He tried to give Brock a towel, and then Brock threw it back at him.
He's like, "Fuck that."
He's like,
so
Brock's old school, man. He ain't gonna want that shit.
So the last time that happened was John Cena versus JBL, where John Cena's like completely red head to toe.
Yeah, and I was like, I was going to this match, and I'm like, depending on how long they have in this match, Cody's going to want to bleed in this match. Like, this is the kind of match where I feel like Cody's like, let me bleed. But I'm also thinking he's probably telling Brock, you know what you did to Orton? I want you to do that to me. I feel like that is going to be a conversation that they have when it's the blow off match for this feud. Is Cody's going to look at Brock hard way, like,
open me.
That's literally what. That's literally what happened here. Like, he hits right by
here,
his nose, like right here.
Yeah, like right in this area.
Yeah, and it's just instantly gushing
immediately. And that's the other thing. If this was planned, Brock Lesnar doesn't usually bleed for people.
No, it has been a while, I think, since we've seen like Brock like bleed like this.
Lesnar is usually pretty well protected. So when he's allowed to do something, or they let him do this to like Brock, that shows the star power that they're trying to put into Cody.
Yeah.
And also it's just Brock adding a lot to a match, to try to build Cody up as, the top face of the company.
Well, I think we're seeing like the Brock retirement tour. Like, I think Brock's probably like going to be on his way out soon. So he's like, let's build Cody up. I'm done feuding with Roman. So we'll build Cody up. We'll let him beat Roman. He'll be the next top guy. Like,
Brock has not stage fright, but he hates people.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised to see him like on his way out. Like, just give the rub to people on the way out.
He just wants a Coors Light and lay on top of his wife, and that's about it.
He wants a Coors Light to lay on top of his wife and to like do farm work.
He's married to Sable. Like, he's married to Sable.
So
the finish to this match was interesting. Brock has Cody in a Kimura lock, and Cody gives the angle to pin Brock. And it's weird to me because it is not a definitive like I beat Brock. It's I weaseled my way into a win against this monster.
I got lucky.
Yeah,
yes,
I do think they're gonna have a blow-off match at some point. Brock Lesnar is in the city that they're having Raw right now.
I think we're going to see a stretcher job. Like,
possible.
Gets Cody out of the new tournament. Brock can do whatever. He'll come back. They'll do one more pay-per-view match, and then Cody's back in the Roman Reigns picture. Oh, the big hero return. He slays the dragon. And
then they're gonna have to figure out a way to get him to SmackDown somehow.
Yeah. Well, when he wins the titles, he'll just be a part of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish it was a little more definitive of a finish, but I understand they probably want to. I don't even know at this point what they want to do with fucking Cody. Like, it's like, bro, are you going to make him look strong or are you going to make him look lucky? Like,
I don't think this was lucky. I think this was making him look smart versus lucky. Because he had the lock on, and then he
I can understand if this made him look more intelligent.
Yes, I think that's what they were going for here.
It's just for some reason I was like, really, that's it? It's like I think it's like a sub 10-minute match or something like that, and I'm like, why didn't Bad Bunny and Damian Priest just own this fucking show as the main event?
That's kind of where I had the problem with the placing of those matches in the second half of that pay-per-view. I'm like, you might as well just give the hottest match, which is going to be Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, the main event, because Cody and Brock ain't going to go but like 10 minutes. It's going to be really short, straight and to the point, and just let the crowd just have fun.
I truly would have had Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and Riddle and Sami Zayn on third to last, and then Brock Cody, and then Bad Bunny, Damian Priest.
Because the thing is, like, you're advertising this event with Bad Bunny's face all over it. You know he's going to be a hero coming out. You have the workhorse that is Damian Priest, like, kind of leading this match. And it was the longest match of the night, I think, aside from the tag match.
It was.
And I'm like, no,
it was north of 20 minutes.
You do this, you send the crowd home hot. Like, this was the main event for me.
I think the problem with doing it that way is that I think in WWE's eyes, at least, Damian Priest is still somewhat untested. And
it's just like, that's so disappointing. Like,
it is. But I think this match will go a long way in him becoming a more, not permanent fixture. He's already a permanent fixture, but like a more higher on the card.
He is the third.
It moves him up a few notches on the card, because I think with Damian Priest, this match really proves that he can actually lead a match like this. Okay, he's very much dependable, and he can pretty much build somebody. You know, he can build faces. And he can put on incredible matches. I think they're going to move him up the card. I think he's going to be somewhere in the Intercontinental U.S. title picture, wherever they decide to put it. Well, wait, where's the Intercontinental U.S. title at right now? The thing is, what? U.S. title's on Raw, Intercontinental title on SmackDown?
Other way around.
So.
Oh, other way around. Well, yeah.
I see titles on Raw. U.S. is on SmackDown.
They're going to move him to the Intercontinental title picture because I think, maybe him and Gunther would have, a really good
him
match
and Gunther would
together.
light it up.
They would fucking kill
would
that
love
match.
to see that. I mean, I hope at some point, Dijak gets called back up to the main roster. I'd love to see Dijak versus Damian Priest. Like, I would love to see these not overly like big guys, these like just tall, strong guys kind of be like their own like mini division in WWE.
I think the problem is Dijak and Damian Priest look a little too similar.
What do you mean, Damian? What do you mean? Dijak looks like the lead singer of fucking Sabaton. Like,
Dijak looks like the Punisher.
Dijak does look like the Punisher.
I think that's what they were trying to go for with this game, the Punisher.
The haircut and the beard. I want you to look up Sabaton and look at the lead singer and tell me that is not just Dijak.
Give me a second.
We're gonna. Oh God, it is.
It's like
that's like some Rob Halford shit.
Yeah, I see that and I'm like, this man looks like he's from a power metal band. Like,
oh, holy shit, I see it. Good grief.
It's like
that's almost to the T.
It's the goatee, it's the fucking haircut, and I'm like, this man looks like he just came out of like a power metal band. Like,
oh yeah. That's to the T, man.
It's just, but like, it's so weird because Damian Priest, Dijak, like they're a different kind of Haas,
Yeah, they're a little lanky versus like just chunky.
Yeah, they're a little more agile of Haas's. Like they still have the strength, but they're just not like built the same as somebody like Gunther or Wardlow or
they're heavyweights that move like cruiserweights.
Yeah,
almost.
But also, I admittedly just kind of want Damian Priest to go back to Punishment Martinez. I really like that name.
They keep referencing it.
Yeah, I mean, his first NXT showing, he had the name. Like, they let him keep it, and then they changed him to Damian Priest when they repackaged him and brought him back.
Yeah, he's basically called the Punishment in Judgment Day. So
Yeah.
so basically that name is a reference to his old name.
Yeah, it's just like, it's wild. Like, Damian Priest won me over as just like, this guy has a future as an individual star.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think they wanted to have I think they, for all the an entertainment company WWE is, like they still wanted wrestlers to main event the match, the last match.
Not the two Hispanic stars in the greatest match they had on the card.
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, I'm trying to rewind and think of like WWE logic here.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
I understand.
You're gonna have Carlito come back, you're gonna have Savio Vega come out, and this isn't the main event. Like,
let's Puerto Ricans together, but not put them in the last match on the card.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's weird.
Have the two white guys main event
in Puerto Rico.
Have the two white guys main event in Puerto Rico.
I wouldn't be mad if we see a Carlito return though. Like, he looks great. I would love to see him back.
I don't think they can pay him as much as they do in WWC.
No, because I mean he is just the Cena down there. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic night of wrestling.
It was like every match delivered on what it was going to be on the tin. Like the street fight, it's gonna be a street fight, but like they amped it up. The shopping cart, the kendo stick, all the storytelling in there. Like all the high spots, like Damian Priest almost snapping Bad Bunny's neck several times.
I mean,
and then Bad Bunny almost snapping his own neck.
I mean, it's takeover pace too. This was 3 hours, and it didn't feel like 3 hours. This was like a takeover show, and just the pacing and just everything about it.
Oh yeah, it went by really quick, man. Like I said, this is one.
I was like, it starts at 8, and I'm like leaving my friends at 11. I'm like, what the fuck, like.
But yeah, overall, this is, to me, this has been the best Backlash I've seen since 2016. Okay, I think that was one where AJ Styles won the world title. This was just an electric show from start to finish. The crowd made that 10 times better. I was completely wrong about this show because on paper, it didn't look like a strong card, but and it just goes to show me that it's not about it's not
quality.
About who's in the card. It's quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not about who's on the card. It's about, can they pull this off? And they definitely pulled it off. Even in spots I thought they wouldn't. Yeah.
Every performer like did really well this pay-per-view. Like every single one of them. I couldn't think of like a bad thing to say about any of them.
They understood the fucking assignment.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they keep this energy for what's the next one? I don't care about Night of Champions.
The next one technically is Night of Champions, and I think after that it's Money in the Bank.
And that's right around the same time as Double or Nothing. So I think I'm gonna be watching Double or Nothing though.
We have to cover Night of Champions because it's gonna crown the inaugural World Heavyweight.
We'll mention it. We'll mention it. I'm not watching any show from Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
I'm gonna actually just look up
legally watch it
to see what is coming up, because I know that in the next few months we have a very busy few months of events.
We've got Double or Nothing. We've got Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door. All in.
Not to mention the monthly pay-per-views.
All Out, I think.
So,
jeez.
Yeah, in one weekend, it is going to be the Night of Champions. The day after that is NXT Battleground. The same day as Battleground is Double or Nothing.
Yep.
And then,
damn.
This is going through all like the TV shows too, so this is fucking awful. So yeah, we have NXT Battleground if we want to do that. And we have Double or Nothing, which I'm gonna be watching personally. I might get it into sit and screen share if you guys want to watch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we'll talk about Night of Champions probably the same day that we do Double or Nothing. Just mentioning the new champion. Mentioning if anything happens. Like, I don't think anything's going to happen with Roman Reigns. I think the titles are staying on him. I am very interested in Double or Nothing, though.
Yeah.
Because that is the only match that we have announced for that is the four pillars fatal 4-way for the title.
I don't. I don't know. I think AEW has a habit of, and I guess we'll talk about this when we get close to it. AEW has a habit of making their pay-per-views feel like regular shows, which it's a good thing because it makes your shows look really good, but also it's a bad thing because it makes their pay-per-views look much worse.
Yeah.
And I think they need to have a certain they need to have a certain panache to their
Well, Double or
pay-per-views that they
Nothing
don't
has
have
their
right now.
whole Double or Nothing has their whole like stage with like the poker chip like setups where you had a John Moxley throw Kenny Omega off of one of the poker chips on his debut. So
That was fun.
That was fun, just to pop that John Moxley had when he arrived.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're gonna do that this time. I love to be proven wrong, but it's been a lot of business as usual lately with AEW, and that's not always a good thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I fucking loved this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I had so much fun watching it. I wasn't just like, can this match be over? It was just like, fuck yeah, that was awesome.
I mentioned this in the beginning. I'm really glad they got rid of the WrestleMania branding to this because they took it, they like severing it from WrestleMania made it that much better because it didn't have the loose baggage. And in fact, the only match that was tangentially related was the Bloodline versus KO, Sammy, and Riddle match.
Backlash never needed the WrestleMania branding because on top of that, when they did the WrestleMania Backlashes, it was almost the same matches from that show. Also,
it was
a majority of it, and it was pointless.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they got rid of it. I really do.
Because even leading up to this in the past, what they would use for Backlash is like they would continue the same stories, but they're creating new stories this time, and that is much better.
It had a much different feel to it.
It did.
I think if you hit the reset button, if you don't hit the reset button on WrestleMania, you do it at Backlash. I think that's the true reset button, and I think going forward we're going to see that some more.
And I wouldn't mind if pay-per-views that aren't WrestleMania have this takeover feel to them, where it's just bam, 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 done. Like, yeah. I hate also sitting through these like 7-hour pay-per-views where it's like match, 20 minutes fads, like match, then more promos, match, and it's like, just get to the fucking wrestling, please.
And also, if you're going to do pay-per-views outside the big four, I want them in different locations like this. It just adds a little bit more salt and pepper, to the whole
crowd was totally
event.
For this.
I don't think the show would have felt as great as it did if the crowd wasn't as fired up as they were.
They keep having. I keep seeing notes for Raw today because again we're recording on the Monday of. And I keep seeing like Return of the Big Time Superstar. Ooh. And something that's like Triple H wants the crowd to be talking. All right.
Okay.
Like I hate dirt sheets for that reason.
Yeah, I've stopped listening to the dirt sheets. A lot. Like a lot of them have actively like been told wrong things and then reported and then are like shit on by the wrestlers that told them about it.
Yep.
Or like they bring the receipts and it's like, no man, that's not what happened. But yeah, I mean, it's a great pay-per-view. I'm wondering if this kind of sparks. Well, I mean, this did record stuff for Backlash. Oh, we lost X. But this Backlash had like record stuff to it. I mean, everybody right now is thriving. AEW has almost sold out a stadium. GCW is putting on shows pretty much all over the world each week. Like wrestling right now is on fire and it's wonderful.
This is the importance of having multiple companies in pro wrestling. Okay, all of this stuff together, it pretty much heats up the whole product. It heats up the whole sport, man. Quick update on AEW. I think they're at about 758 tickets left.
Yeah, they're selling that shit out.
Yeah,
they're probably going to sell that out.
That arena is selling out under the assumption that CM Punk is coming back.
Yeah. Which he will be back by then because he's rumored to be on the June 17th new show AEW Collision, I believe. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But ultimately, this is all good for pro wrestling. Okay, we're just it went through a little funky period, between the end of last year and the start of this year. But I think we're getting back on track to where this stuff is starting to get hot again.
Definitely.
And I'm just excited. I am.
It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and New Japan has made like their changing of the guard too, you know, with Sonata kind of being the top champion now, you know, kind of stepping out of the limelight. Like even New Japan's starting to see a change in their, you know, culture of the company. It's like, hey, we got new guys that we can build up.
Sonata's the champion right now, right?
Sonata's the champion. You have Dave Finlay taking over Bullet Club. Like they're just building up a bunch of new people over there. It's not the same guard as it used to be. So we're starting to see a big shift to kind of keep everybody competitive with each other. And I'm excited to see where it all goes. But I got nothing else to talk about for Backlash.
Yeah, I'm good. It was a good pay-per-view. You should watch it if you haven't yet.
You should watch it. If anything, just watch the Bad Bunny Damian Priest match. That is just really good, like almost Attitude Era like feeling with like the hardcore match. But I enjoyed it.
We'll see you for what's the next one? Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing or Battlegrounds. So and probably Double or Nothing. I think we said we're not doing NXT, we're doing WWE and AEW mostly. So but yeah, Double or Nothing. I believe that it was later in maybe June, I don't know. But we'll get to that. So yeah, I got nothing else.
Double or Nothing is May 28th. So
woo, this month.
Yep. See you in 20 days, y'all.
See you in 20 days. All right. Well, everybody, take care.
Y'all have a good one.
Nice talking to you guys. X, thanks for being here again.
All right, no problem, man.
All right, guys. We will see you all later. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Squared Triangle. Find us wherever you get your podcasts under the Without Context podcast. Find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@WCNetwork.